This is one of my favorite parts of the week. It's time again for this week's take on the news from the left, right, and middle with award-winning journalist Karen Hunter and Sirius XM radio talk show host David Webb. We always love it when you come. Are you ready?
Always.
Yes. You know, there's some juicy news going in there, and of course, we're covering every day, as is the whole world, watching the trial of George Zimmerman in the killing of Trayvon Martin. So let's start there. We've talked about him already, but now that we're in jury selection, the question is, can George Zimmerman get a fair and impartial panel of jurors?
I say yes, they can. Look, jurors are charged, and if the judge is good with the judge's instructions, they can gauge this and do it well. No, everyone knows about this case, unless you've been under a rock. That's a reality in many of these high-profile cases. But they're charged with what happens in the courtroom, and it's going to play out if the judge is fair, if we don't get another Judge Ito who wants the limelight in the O.J. Simpson case, because that opens a dangerous door to appeals from both sides if it's prejudiced.
Absolutely not. They will not. This case has already been tried in the court of public opinion. Not only will George Zimmerman not get a jury that I think will be impartial and fair, I think Trayvon Martin will not get justice in this case. We just saw with the jury selection already, there's one juror who said that he was expelled from school, and, you know, I'm a mother with sons, and they already have very strong opinions about this, and the race thing is seeping in. It's already there. Let's be real about it, right? So to have a jury that is not going to be biased or bring their biases to the table is going to be impossible. And then you have the other thing, Debbie, that people want to be seen. People want to be on this jury because they see that there's a cash out probably at the end of this. There's going to be a lot of attention put on this. And juries now, everyone wants to be famous.
That aside, look at the American justice system over the years. You have cases prosecuted on a daily basis that are high profile, and they still go through and they get justice. Our system works more than it fails.
Jody,
that is a fact in the numbers in our justice system.
We're talking about Florida, though. This is about Florida, which
rather than trying to, well, hang on. So rather than trying to define a narrative and say this is how it must play out, from the beginning I've said we've got to let the due process play out, let the prosecutors and the defense do their job. What they should be concerned about in this case, if you want to look at it, will be suppression of evidence. They can suppress opening statements about Trayvon's past drug use, about his school suspension, but that can be brought into the trial. So let's follow the due process rather than trying to define a narrative. And if the race pimps and the race hustlers stay out of it, we will have a better chance at a trial. No Al Sharptons, no Joe Madisons, no Rosalind Brock's, no Ben Jellises.
Well, David, you've already convicted Trayvon Martin. The last time we were here, you said he's a bad actor. You embodied the very thing, right? And this young man was clearly simply going home, minding his business.
How do you know that? Do you know all the facts? So you know he was clearly simply going home.
I was there. Stick with the jurors. You know, it is a difficult role to hold because Seminole County is not a bastion of diversity.
Thank you.
So being able to impanel diverse jury panel is difficult.
It's a 49% black population where the incident happened.
But in
so
Seminole
let's look at the numbers of the population.
But the 500 people coming from, I'm not supposed to be in this argument.
America's, hang on. By that logic, America's 70+% self-identified by the Census Bureau as Caucasian. Are you telling me that you need to then impanel juries based on race or based on jurors?
Well,
that is a ridiculous
but here's the real question, though. Isn't this the question? Isn't this the question? Are there people there that can push past their own experience, their own bias, their own prejudice, and make a real, true, and fair assessment of the facts?
I actually am optimistic that we do have enough people in this country who will follow through with that very sentiment. I just don't think they're in Florida. That's all. I don't think that they're in Florida.
Casting aspersions on a state.
I have a house there. I'm very familiar with it. I was actually when the stand your ground law. No, I'm just saying. I lived there half the year, so I know exactly.
So you know every Florida resident.
No, I just know that this particular.
Look, Americans can get, to answer your question, people, whether they have biases or not, are still capable of executing the charges put on them as jurors by the courts. It happens in America on a daily basis.
We can only hope so, because that is what our criminal justice system is based on. Let's move on very quickly in the last few seconds that we have. and talk. I know. Talk about Edward Snowden. Is he a patriot or a traitor? Let's start with you, Karen.
Well, I think that I'm conflicted actually. There are parts of me that want to champion what he's doing and say, great, the Patriot Act was horrible, and this is a guy that's kind of thumbing his nose at the system. But I go back to this thing where everyone wants to be famous. Why did you go on camera? Why didn't you just do this and get everybody excited about it? Why did you have to go on camera? Because I think he has an end game. He's a loser. He's a guy that couldn't finish high school, couldn't go to community college, finish there. He wants to be seen.
But he's really smart.
He's very smart. How did he get that job and didn't finish high school? I want Pookie to get a job like that. Who didn't finish high school? He didn't finish college, high school. How did he get that job?
Apparently, you missed the facts in the case. One, he dropped out. He got a GED. Two,
he didn't get his GED. You missed the facts. He did not complete his GED.
He was once a guard with what's called a TS-SCI poly clearance, which means he passed the polygraph process to work at the CIA. He's clearly bright. Whether he's a traitor or a hero, there can be both in this because, one, he revealed a program that had expanded well beyond its initial means, which was supposed to target specific communications. Two, he went to China to do this when he could have done this in the United States. He could have gone on. Three, cannot ignore the timing and the fact that there are other angles at play here. He took 4 computers to Hong Kong. That is an element that is not normal. And now he's in the hands of the communist China, and they don't have to release him based on the extradition
treaty. Here's the bottom line. He took an oath. He broke his oath. Therefore, he's a traitor. And it's just that simple. And at the end of the day, I don't think we want our citizens to do this. This is going to create anarchy in a way that we, that we can't put the genie back in the...
Treason in Article 3, Section 3.
I'm going to help you out here because if you remember a couple of sessions ago, we talked about privacy and security.
I just don't want to agree with him. No, I just don't want to agree with him. Because you're wrong.
How about you agree with the facts?
No, the facts are the guy did not finish his GED.
Biden 2008, I'm against this. Now he's for it. Obama 2001 and 2007, I'm against it. Now I'm for it. This is the contradictory nature of not following the policy and the facts on the ground. The facts are we'll see this play out. And if you go to Article 3, Section 3, the definition of treason, he has not met the standard yet, but his actions may.
I know Richard Nixon's rolling around his grave right now. He's like, I got to
can't wait till you come back. Can't wait. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right here tomorrow on Arise America. Bye-bye.